Oh my god. Woo, yes! Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I'm just so excited, guys. Sorry. Anyway, I'm so excited for you guys. The reason, I'm gonna explain why when I start talking, but I'm just gonna say this now. This is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 56 of my show, but this is about Episode 59. And Episode 59 in the original Power Rangers series is known as... but before I start talking about it, I just want to mention that this is the second last video for this first season, and then the next one I'll do will be on Friday probably. Well, actually, yeah, I might, because I might record this now, and then after I record it, I might upload it maybe Friday. So. Or tomorrow, basically, but I'll record it today, and if I have enough battery after that, I'll upload it then, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Oh, and since this is the last video, I just want to mention one more thing. As I said, I will do Season 2 of Power Rangers, after I do the final video for the first season, and like a week after the final video's up. Okay, now getting into the actual video. This is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 56 of my show, but this is about Episode 59. Now, Episode 59 in the original Power Rangers series is known as Mighty Morphing Mutants. But before I actually start talking about it, I just want to mention, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm talking weird in this video I'm recording. It's because I have a little bit of a sore throat, but I'm still good enough to do a video for my YouTube channel for today, so I just thought I'd let you guys know that ahead of time. Oh, and one more thing. I'm gonna mention this now, and I'm gonna also mention it when I do the final video. When I post the final video for the first season, when I post the final video, I'm gonna ask you guys to, in the comments section, just tell me what was your favorite video for the first season I did. And stuff. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, getting into the actual episode. This is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 56 of my show. But this is about Episode 59. Oh, but before I start talking, I'm just going to take my sweater off, because I realized I was overheating. So if you guys see this in the video, I apologize. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Now getting into the actual episode here. Like I said, this is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 56 of my show, but this is about Episode 59. And Episode 59 in the original Power Rangers series is known as Mighty Morphing Mutants. Now, as the name of this episode states, now I'm just going to mention, if you guys remember back when I did the second last video of the 30 segment, I stated in the video when I did it that there would be one of two times in Power Rangers that Rita would create her own evil Rangers. Now, this is that second of those 2 times I mentioned before. I just wanted to get that out of the way before I actually continued. Anyway, basically the way this episode starts off is Tommy is rushing to his locker to get his stuff, and then Kimberly's saying hi to him, and basically he says hi back to her. But he tells her he's gotta go because he's late for Miss Appleby's class. Now that's gonna be a bit of a funny thing. That's a common denominator that's gonna happen with Tommy's character. It's gonna be mentioned in one of the later seasons. I'm not gonna tell you the season because I want to save that for when I get to it. But I just thought I'd mention it ahead of time, though. Anyway, then he basically shows up at the class, and then basically, what happens is Miss Appleby is telling him that it's so nice of him to join them. They're about to start their class, and she's telling them their assignment for this week, basically. Oh, but before I actually continue, I might get a little off topic here when I'm just gonna mention this ahead of time now. I'm gonna get off topic when I get to Rita's character. Like, I'll save mentioning that for later. I just thought I'd give you guys a heads up. Oh, also, anyway, getting back into it where I was with Tommy and the others, after he shows up in the Miss Appleby's class, Miss Appleby is telling him that it's so nice of him to join them, and then she's telling them that their assignment for this week is to ask a friend what their greatest fault is, and then try very hard to basically change it, basically. Anyway, and then, well, and that's also going to play a little bit in the hand in what's going to happen, because, like I said, there are segments in later seasons where it gets referenced because he keeps remembering about times he was late. Anyway, anyway, after Bulk and Skull hear about that, Bulk puts his hand up, and then Miss Appleby answers him, and basically his question is that if he and Skull don't have something that needs changing, does that mean does that mean that they don't have to do the assignment? And then basically what happens is Miss Appleby tells them that I'm sure some people in the room will tell them what their greatest fault is. If not, come to her and she'll explain, and she'll tell them what she thinks their greatest fault is. And then Tommy tells them about the assignment itself, and then Bulk makes a little bit of a mocking kind of laugh, and he kind of insults Tommy a little, where he tells him that he'll be lucky if he even remembers what the assignment is. Oh my god, I'm sorry, but that's kind of funny. Oh, and now that I've gotten into it with Bulk and Skull, I just want to mention, since we're on the second last video, I just want to explain a little bit of character kind of development that's going to happen with Bulk and Skull's characters. Just as a preview for the next season, I'm just going to give you guys a little heads up about that. And also, I want to also mention again there's one other thing I want to mention with the second season. As I stated, there will be a new antagonist that'll show up that I will explain about when I do the first video for the second season, which will be a character bio video. And I just wanted to get that out of the way. And he basically, the new character that'll show up will also have a different variation of the putties. I just wanted to mention that now because technically we're on the second last video of the first season, so I thought in this case, since we're almost done, I figured I'd mention it ahead of time just to get you guys prepared for the first video that I'm going to do for the second season, which, as I said, I will do the second season for videos straight after I finish watching season 2 on Netflix and after I post the final video for season 1. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, basically now getting back into the actual episode, I'm sorry I got off topic there, but I figured in this case it made sense because this is the second last video for the first season, so in this case I figured I'd mention some stuff that is going to be a little bit happening with some of the characters that are going to be in the second season that are from the first season. Anyway, I just with Bulk and Skull's character, I mean. Anyway, getting back into it with them. After Tommy tells them about, he said they know what they can change, and then as I said, Bulk kind of insults Tommy where he says that basically he'll be lucky if he even remembers what the assignment is. And then basically, then it goes into a scene where Rita is on the moon, and then she tells her minions, like, "You see, dummies, I told you, Green," like she finds out that she tells her minions that she knew Green Ranger had some weakness, and basically she tells her minions to go to the dungeon and get the badges of darkness. Now I'm going to explain about the badges of darkness before I actually continue with Rita's segment. I just want to mention, because remember when I said in the previous, and by previous video I mean the second video I did where she created her own Ranger replicas. Remember how I said it was the first of 2 times? Well, this is technically the second time, only this time it's a different circumstance. It's still putties being created in Ranger forms, except it's under a different use. Now, basically what the badges of darkness are, I'm going to explain what the badges of darkness are before I continue. The badges of darkness are sort of like the evil equivalent of the power morphers that the Rangers use in the first season. So they're like the villain equivalent of that. And then after Goldar hears about that, he said that they can use it to turn the putties into mutant Rangers. And then after that, then it goes into a scene where Tommy is with Jason and they're doing some sparring practice, and then Jason manages to block one of Tommy's attacks, and he said that he messed that up for this time, and then he stops him again, and then he realizes that that's the second time he's been able to stop him, and then he asks Tommy 2 questions. Is he getting better? By he, I mean basically Jason. Jason asks Tommy if he's getting better, or is Tommy just getting worse? And then basically what happens is Tommy basically explains to Jason that he can't focus, and the reason why he can't focus is basically it's because of the fact he can't focus because of the assignment that they have for Miss Appleby's class. And basically, and Jason wonders what it is basically, and Tommy tells Jason that the assignment that he has to do is ask people what they think the person's biggest fault is, in this case him, and then try to basically change it. Anyway, and then after a couple of things with Jason and Tommy where they're talking after the sparring's done and stuff, Tommy asks him some questions about did he have a towel because he forgot his, and then Jason said that he wants to know, then because at this point Tommy asks Jason what his biggest fault is, and then Jason tells him that does he really want to know what he thinks his biggest fault is, and then he says he does want to know. And then he says that basically Tommy's his biggest fault is that he's basically forgetful, and then basically then it goes back into a scene where Goldar is, because he's with some of the putties and he's telling them that it's time for them to begin the Mutant Ranger training, and then it did a little bit of a montage where he's complimenting some of the putties, and then he gets upset with number 6, I think twice. And then, well, actually, what basically happens is after that, Tommy says to the others that he didn't think of himself as forgetful, and then the other Rangers are telling him that they're basically he did forget some things about in school, basically, when it comes to it. And then basically what happens is then I'm gonna get back with Goldar because I kind of skipped ahead there, I'm sorry. Anyway, then Bulk and Skull show up, and then they make kind of a bit of a mocking kind of joke to Tommy where they say, isn't he Tommy completely? Remember them, Bulk and Skull, the next day in class? And then the Rangers are telling them, don't tell me they figured out what their fault is to change. And then Bulk says that basically the simple fact is some people have none, in this case him and Skull, because to them they don't have any faults. But I think Kimberly mentions about not being immature and obnoxious bad qualities, and then Bulk said that he and Skull happen to like the way they are, and then Skull basically repeats him, and then basically Tommy says that then he guesses they'll get an F on the assignment, and Mr. Kaplan definitely won't like that, which is kind of true, because if they get an F on an assignment, they're probably going to end up in detention. Anyway, now I'm going to get back into it. Oh, I am now going to get back into it with Rita's character, because I didn't skip ahead when it was mentioned with the Badges of Darkness, but I did kind of skip ahead when it did the Mutant Ranger training segment. Anyway, Goldar basically tells the putties that it's time for them to begin the Mutant Ranger training, and then it does this, as I said before, it does this montage where it does this montage. Oh man, I'm having a mental block. And then after that, there's a little bit of a comedic thing with the rest of the Rangers trying to help Tommy out Actually, there's a bit of a. I'm sorry. I'm just having mental blocks. I'm gonna get back to what I was mentioning with Goldar training the putties, and then after the little montage with the training, Goldar tells the putties that the final training has been completed, and he's made his decision, and he tells number 6 that because of the 6 putties that were training, number 6 didn't do any good during the training montage. So Goldar tells him in a joke that he's going back to being clay on Finster's workbench. And then he gives the 5 putties the badges of darkness, and then basically what happens is after he gives the 5th one of the other badges of darkness, he said that no one is worthy to be the Red Ranger, and he says it's no matter. Well, actually, while he's giving it to them, he's mentioning about, with the badges of darkness, they will become the evil twins of the Power Rangers. And then after he gives one of them the 5th one, he says that no one is worthy to be Red Ranger, and it doesn't really matter because it's mutant time, which is basically his way of telling them it's morphing time. And then, now I'm going to get back into it with Tommy's character. I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that since every little thing is kind of connected, so I'm trying to connect everything. And the only thing I'm going to get back with Tommy's character is the fact that he has a little bit of comedic happenings with his friends trying to help him remember stuff. And then after one of the times with Billy, Billy said that Tommy seemed to be getting worse even with their help. And then basically, then it goes into a scene where Rita is on the moon, and then she's asking Goldar if the putty/mutant rangers are ready, and he tells them they are, and then she tells 2 of them to attack, and by 2 of them I think she means just the putty that is formed as the green mutant clone and the pink mutant clone. And then basically what happens is after that, basically what happens after that is Kimberly and Tommy are walking through the park, and then they see the mutant ranger copies of both her and Tommy basically in their ranger forms, and then they start battling them a little. And then after that, basically what happens is after that, after they start battling them a little, the putty that is disguised as the Green Ranger said to Tommy that he knows his moves better than they do, and then the pink mutant clone says that kind of like fighting in a mirror. And then after that they say separately, like the green one said that that's only a taste of what they're gonna get, and then the pink one said that she'll be back. And then Kimberly gets a little upset because Rita's basically created her own evil rangers again, which is right, because as I stated, this is the second time this has happened. Because the first time was back in the video I did for episode 38. And then Tommy mentions that the mutant rangers know all their moves. And then basically they decide to regroup back at the command center, and then they're wondering, Jason asks Zordon what these mutant, I can't remember, I think it might be Zach that mentions, he asks Zordon what these mutant rangers are, and then then Zordon tells the Rangers that Rita has given her putties the badges of darkness, which as I stated, the badges of darkness are like the evil equivalent of the power morphers. So basically it's like they have their own evil doppelgangers. And then basically what happens is Jason wonders why there isn't a red mutant, and Zordon tells Jason that Rita has yet to create her own powerful leader for them, and for right now the best thing they can do is just wait and see what happens. And then basically what happens after that is, after a little bit of comedic things where the Rangers are back in the school and they're helping Tommy try to remember stuff and it doesn't work out, basically what happens after that is Zordon asks Alpha, when did the mutant crayfish monster, because by this point Rita had already sent down a monster to be the Red Ranger for her mutant squad, and the monster that she sends down is known as Commander Crayfish. So it's another sea-based monster. Anyway, and then Zordon is asking Alpha when did the crayfish monster appear, and Alpha tells Zordon that it appeared just a couple of minutes ago, and then Zordon has Alpha contact the Rangers, and then basically after that, basically what happens is after they contact the Rangers, Zordon explains the situation, and then the Rangers morph to deal with their evil doppelgangers, and then basically after they meet their evil doppelgangers, basically the doppelgangers do their own versions of the things that they say, of the things the Rangers say sometimes when they're in their Ranger forms. And then basically after that, what happens is basically what happens after that is Kimberly says that they may look like them, but that's not enough. And then Commander Crayfish kind of insults the human Rangers by saying, we'll soon, because Commander Crayfish said they'll show them who the real Rangers are. And then basically Commander Crayfish basically said that they'll soon see, and they called them landlubbers, and they have a real leader. And then basically what happens is they start fighting the mutants, and then after a little while they retreat, and then Zordon tells them that they need new weapons in order to deal with Commander Crayfish. And basically the new weapons are just different versions of their old weapons, but with some adjustments basically. And then they go back to fight Commander Crayfish and his mutant Rangers, and then they manage to turn the tables on them, and then Rita makes the crayfish monster and the mutant Rangers disguised as putties grow, and then the Rangers fight them in the Megazord. And then after that, basically what happens is they manage to defeat it. And then after that, what happens is Rita gets upset that she lost again, and she's like, just can't believe it, that's it, no more seafood. And then basically what happens after that is then it goes into a scene where Tommy is with the other Rangers, and then after that there's a scene where Bulk and Skull has a little bit of a comedic ending with Miss Appleby and stuff because of the whole thing where they play this practical joke, and then she says that she guesses some people will never change, and that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys probably sometime either Friday or Saturday for the last video of the first season. So until then, guys, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always. And just please give this video the real best you guys can. And like I always tell you with this series, May the power protect you always.